Intro, a small child was driving the truck. This map is of Slumberland. If anything happens to you, you will be responsible for it. Start, we are shown a small girl named Nemo. She used to live with her dad in a small island in a lighthouse. Their house was a lighthouse. Nemo used to like this place a lot. One day Nemo's dad tells her that if you answer right to one of my questions, then I will give you the keys to this lighthouse. Her dad asks her why the lighthouse is made. Then Nemo replies that to find out the direction of the ships, to tell them the right way, and to help them in trouble. Nemo's dad says, "My daughter, this is not the right answer now. The day you give me the correct answer to this, I will give you the keys here." At night, her dad tells her a story. "One day my friend and I went to look for shiny pearls in the sea, but in the storm, my friend got lost somewhere. Then I don't know where he went." Nemo was listening to her dad's story very carefully. Then her dad gets a message that there is a storm in the sea, so he has to come to work now. Nemo's dad goes to work. When Nemo was sleeping in the middle of the night, her eyes opened, because their little island was hit by the tsunami storm, and there was water in the lighthouse too. Nemo dives into that water. She sees her dad. When she starts going towards him, a monster comes and swallows her dad. Then Nemo's eyes open. It meant that she was dreaming. In the morning, some guards come to Nemo, and they tell her about her dad's death. Hearing this, Nemo was broken. She gets very sad. A lady officer tells her that her dad wanted her to go to her uncle after him, but Nemo wanted to live alone on this island. The officer says, "My child, you cannot live here alone, so you will have to go with your uncle." Now Nemo takes all her necessary things and goes with her uncle. Her uncle was a very rich man. He was very happy to keep Nemo with him, but he did not know how to keep children. Nemo also started living quietly after her dad's death. When Nemo's eyes open while sleeping at night, she sees that her favorite toy was alive, and her bed was walking on its own legs and taking her out of the window. Then the bed is dipped in water and takes her to a magical world, where Nemo meets a man named Flip, who had two big horns on his head. Flip asks Nemo about her dad. She is very sad and tells him about her dad's death. He was also sad to hear this. He says, "Actually I wanted a map from your dad." Nemo was thinking that she was still dreaming. She tells him to leave my dream. Flip says, "Okay, I will go, but you will have to give me that map, with the help of which I can find the shiny pearls, and you can also go to such a world with the help of it. Its name is Slumberland, where every wish is fulfilled, and meet your dad after going there." Nemo is happy to hear this. Now, Flip sends her into her own world by telling her to find the map, and Nemo wakes up from her dream world to the real world. The next day, her uncle takes her to school to get her admitted, where he meets the school teacher. She says, "Don't worry, I will take good care of Nemo." She takes Nemo to class, and makes all the children meet. There Nemo befriends a boy, who had become a very good friend of hers. She also tells him about her dad. At night, Nemo's uncle also teaches her to open the lock of the door. In fact, his business was to make locks of doors. Nemo's toy was alive again at night. She also finds her dad's map. The next morning, when Nemo goes to school, she records absences from her uncle's phone. She goes to such a part of the school where it was forbidden to go. She goes there and changes clothes, and there she goes to sleep with her toy. As soon as she goes back to sleep, she gives the map to Flip, but as soon as he takes the map, he refuses to help her. He says, "Go from here, I can't help you." But Nemo didn't want to go back. She says, "Whatever happens, I will go with you. I want to meet my dad." Flip says, "Okay, you can go with me, but during this time, if anything happens to you, then you will be responsible for it." He says that this map is of Slumberland. "I stole it from a police officer. Until now, that officer is behind me." He also tells Nemo about the magical world, where there are shiny pearls. Now, these two had reached that magical world, where Flip reaches and tells her some principles of the magical world. He advises her not to interfere with anyone's dreams, and not to see anyone's eyes. If the police here catch you, then they will imprison you forever. Now, they both go to such a place, where there were people made of leaves. There was a dance party going on. There was another girl who was dancing very well. That girl was also in her dreams, because this was the world of dreams, and everyone was enjoying their dreams here. At the same place, the police officer comes, who was still behind Flip, about whom he had also told Nemo. Before that, she arrests Flip, the same monster comes there, which Nemo had seen in her dream. But somehow Flip saves her. He brought Nemo to another place after saving her, and says, "All this happened because of you. Because of your dream, that monster has come here." Then Nemo starts to feel something, and she disappears from the world of dreams, and comes to the real world. She has been awakened from her sleep. Her uncle now comes to pick her up from school. Taking her along, they give her a boat as a gift. But she says, "I don't want this. You keep it with you." She refuses to take it. At night, her uncle tells her that your life is not over because of your dad's death. You still have to live your life. But Nemo had not yet come out of the shock of her dad's death. When she goes to sleep, she does not even sleep. Her uncle comes to her and tells her a story. As soon as she heard the story, Nemo fell asleep. And again she goes to the world of her dreams, where Flip now takes her dad's map from her and says, "Now you go from here to your house." Nemo says, "I will not go from here. I have no home. I just want to meet my dad." Flip says, "You are still scared. Bad dreams are following you." But Nemo wanted to continue her journey. She asks Flip, "What are you in the real world?" To which he says, "I do not know who I am. And in the real world, I am not even awake yet." Now they get into a truck to go ahead from here, because again that police officer was following them. They sit on the front seat of the truck. Then they see that a small child was driving that truck. That child couldn't handle that truck. They all fell into the water. These people escaped from the officer, but now they were drowning. Somehow they saved themselves, and escaped from the path of the bathroom. Flip and Nemo were having a lot of fun in this adventure. But the police officer had also reached here. She shoots both with a gun, with which they do not die, but get stuck. Both of them were walking slowly. The police officer says to Flip, "I am 116 years old. I should also retire now. But because of you, I am stuck in this dream world." She asks him for the map, which was not with Flip. The police officer tells him, "You are doing all this because no one cares about you in the real world. That's why you don't wake up from sleep." She locks both of them in jail now. After the officer's departure, Flip says to Nemo that she is telling the truth. "But now I also want to wake up. But I have forgotten who I am, but who knows? Maybe after going to Slumberland, I remember everything." After this, the police officer comes to jail again, and takes Nemo with her. Says you have two ways. Either you go back to your world, or stay in jail with Flip forever. On which Nemo tells her, "I just want to meet my dad." The police officer says, "You will have to move forward now. You will have to wake up in your real world. Otherwise these bad dreams will keep following you." And after that, Nemo wakes up in the real world. She goes to her uncle and while crying she tells him, "I am missing my dad." So her uncle shows her a video. Nemo watches that her uncle is wearing the same clothes in that video as Flip in the dreams. Her uncle tells her, "I was very shy in childhood, when your dad and I used to play. So I used to wear any kind of clothes. Your mom came in your dad's life. So they went out to travel the world. And I was left alone, absolutely alone." He was very sad while saying. Nemo tells him, "My dad used to tell me your story all night." The next morning, when she goes to school, Nemo goes to the same place of the school. Nemo goes to sleep. And again she wakes up in her dream world, with the key given by her uncle. She opens the lock of Flip's jail, and brings him out with her. Whenever she was taking him from here, the police officer sees them again, but this time, Nemo traps her in a time loop with her gun. Flip also makes a picture with her. After that, these people had come to the snowy place, but the officer also reaches here. The one who wanted to catch them. She was still following them. To escape from her, they jumped from the height, and sitting on the big birds, they reached a small house, where they both reached the lighthouse. After reaching there, Nemo tells him, "I know who you are. You are my Uncle Flip." Then also in this world, Nemo was awakened by her teacher. She calls her uncle, and asks her what she was doing there. After hearing all this, Nemo's uncle was also very angry with her. He goes home and tells Nemo, "I was thinking that you will go to school and make good friends. But you did not go to study there. You were lying to everyone." That night it was raining heavily. Nemo in anger, now goes in the boat given by her uncle. She was going towards the lighthouse, and while going she sleeps in the boat. Later she finds herself in the sea. As Nemo's dad had said, that there is a very big hole under the sea. She was going that way now. Their Flip of Dreams also finds out that the little princess has gone to the Sea of Dreams. As Flip had told about the shiny pearls, she now finds it, and also holds one of them. Then a monster had come there. But Flip comes and saves her with the help of a plane. But that monster was still behind them, due to which his plane is destroyed. That monster was now slowly killing everyone in dreams. That's why everyone was awakened in their real world. There in the real world, Nemo's uncle was looking for her, before reaching the Slumberland in the world of dreams. Nemo's condition was getting worse, because the boat on which she was, in the real world she was drowning in the water. The pearl falls from her hand, and in the world of dreams, the monster comes and catches Flip. Now in the world of dreams Flip is dead. Then something happened with the real world Flip. He jumps into the water to save Nemo. There in the world of dreams, when the monster had disappeared, then the officer comes to Nemo. She sees the pearl in his hand, and says that the dream that anyone tells you to see, you just see that. There is no truth behind it. That's why Nemo herself goes to the lighthouse, where she sees her dad. She runs quickly and goes to her dad. They go to the height of the lighthouse and have a lot of fun. There in the real world, Nemo's uncle Flip was trying to wake her up. In the world of dreams, Nemo's dad tells her that you have completed the journey alone. And in the future too, you have to complete the journey alone. The real world is waiting for you, my love. You will not leave it at any cost. You have to go back. Then in reality, in the real world, Nemo comes to her senses. His uncle hugs her and says, "Now again, I will not leave you alone." The next day we see Nemo, who had made a lot of friends in school. The film ends here. Finish.